Hey, this is my entry into Adam Day's contest. He's a great YouTuber. If you don't subscribe to him, look for my link below, my link to him below, and subscribe. I've missed out on a lot of contests. I don't really want to win anything anymore. When I first came on YouTube, I entered a lot of contests and I won a couple of them and then realized I had too many comics to read anyway. Adam's all the way over in England, so I don't really want him to have to mail me stuff at ridiculous postage rates. But there's several contests that I failed to enter that I wanted to, just as a salute to the people running the contest. Most recently, I missed Comic Cracks contest and Reader 1717's contest. I thought I had missed Adam's, but I think I have one more day to enter it. So he asked some pretty basic questions, but for some people my answers might be new. Why are you on YouTube? I never ever in my life wanted to have a YouTube channel, but I stumbled across the community. It had probably already been going for about 2 years, maybe even 3 years. I don't know. Been going for a while, but it was still a pretty small thing. And at first I didn't understand what I was seeing. And I think it really clicked in for me with a series of videos that people did about their comic book history, their life history and how it involved comics. And a bunch of people did them, but I think I really started to understand when I saw Howler Mouse do his. And then I started watching a lot of Howler Mouse videos, and I started to watch Constant Bronstar and A Comic Book Mom and a bunch of other people. And I just really wanted to join in on the conversation. And now I'm conversing all the goddamn time. Probably more than those people who inspired me. Turned into a real blabbermouth. But it's kind of weird because, I'm not a person who wanted to do anything public. Don't really care for being public, although obviously I do like to talk. What other passions do you have other than comics? So off the top of my head, like a huge passion of mine is science fiction, particularly written science fiction. I mean, I love science fiction movies and I love science fiction comics, but I've had since I was about 10 or 11, a huge passion, maybe started just a little before I discovered comic books, I suppose. Huge passion for science fiction. Starting with novels like Dune and Edgar Rice Burroughs books and Philip Jose Farmer and Roger Zelazny and Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke. And until about 10 years ago, I subscribed to lots and lots of the science fiction short story magazines, and I followed who all the hot new authors were, and I bought lots of novels. And read lots of novels, and I wrote a lot of science fiction, and published a few short stories, no novels. And I had a lot of friends who were science fiction writers. So that's a huge passion, and I'm sure at some point I'll go back to more prose reading, but right now I seem more in love with comics, and I just seem short on time all the time. Another passion has been music, not playing music, but just as the audience. But I again, everything's so much in the past tense, it's sad. But I used to go to live music all the time, perhaps more than once a week. I had a huge passion for live music. I had tons of albums and everything, but it was live music that really drove me, and I was really into, or I still really am, really into blues, really into African music and some other international world music, like Qawwali from Pakistan and certain forms of classical Indian music, and the list could go on. So I was definitely, not a collector of the physical items of music, but a collector of musical experiences. And one thing that makes me really sad right now is my daughter doesn't like it when I play music. And how do you force music on someone who doesn't like to hear it? She used to like music when she was little meaning 1, but now at age 6, for whatever reason, it interferes with her thought process or something. Other passions that are also in the past, I used to really be into drawing, mostly life drawing. It was kind of like a weekend hobby for me. I would go to these life drawing sessions and did it kind of religiously for maybe 10 or 15 years. And I'm less in a rush to get back to that than the other things, but it would be fun if I had loads of time. You have to understand that I had my first child when I was 43, so I had a lot of times. 43? No, 46. Got married when I was 43. Anyway, before then I had a lot of time to pursue my passions. Now I don't. And the third question was biggest regrets in your comic book life. And I'd say there's been a lot of those, oh man, why didn't I hold on to those books when I was young? And even when I was in my 20s, I had a big collection, and then I got rid of most of it. And some highlights of things I got rid of include Hulk, what is it? The first appearance of, the number flees my mind now. I had the first appearance of Wolverine. I didn't think it was a very good comic at the time. I thought Herb Trimpe was losing his mojo. And so I just let that comic book, who knows where that ended up. Probably in the trash. Or I don't know. So a lot of regrets like that. More recently, just before I realized I was getting back into comics, I was going through a time of having so little time and so little sleep that I thought I would never get back to the things I loved again, kind of irrationally. And we had a babysitter who was really great to my daughter, and I always feel bad that babysitters or nannies are underpaid, and she liked comics. So I riffled through all the comics I had laying around and gave her the best ones. And I don't know if she appreciated all I gave her. I gave her it was nothing really old because of my old ones were mostly gone anyway. Stuff like Barry Smith's Storyteller, the complete collection of that. A whole bunch of First Kingdom, sort of more obscure stuff. I wanted to expose her to these cool things. A whole bunch of, what were they called? I can't think of this indie horror comic anthology that I used to get. Anyway, a bunch of stuff like that. I kind of because it was probably a matter of 3 months after I started giving comics away to her that I had been still reading digital comics, and I thought, oh, all of life's going to go digital. But it's when I started rediscovering my love for the physical comics, and I wanted them all back, but I didn't ask for them back from her. And I think she lived in a house full of people who like comics. I think those comics were going to be given away by her to her friends, so who knows what happened to them. So those are my regrets. But, with time and money, all of those comics can be gotten back, except for maybe the Hulk one. But the only reason, because I'll never spend that kind of money. The only reason you'd regret selling it, for me, because it's still not that good of a comic, is just to have a little piece of history, I guess. So anyway, I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.